Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Timekeeper. Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys all about melodic bass. Let's go.
Now let me throw it down.
So typically, the lay of the land here, this video is going to be breaking apart into 4 parts, like 4 separate videos. So the first one, the one that you're watching right now, we're going to be covering melodic dubstep. The second one, we're going to be covering future bass. Third one, we're going to be covering we're going to be covering color bass, and then we're going to be covering future rhythm, which I'm going to have to study on because I don't think I've ever made future rhythm in my life. So yeah, let's get into it. So I basically wrote a little bit of a idea here, an example for say. So this is what it sounds like.
Blinded by your light.
Yes, pretty crazy stuff. So typically when I go into melodic bass, or melodic dubstep in general, my main inspirations for like melodic dubstep, is like Seven Lions, Blank, Trivecta is one of my personal favorites, Jason Ross, William Black, Nurko, Midas. The list goes on to all the individuals that do melodic dubstep that I really get inspired by. Typically, what's going on here, I'm going to cover the drums first. So in the build-up, we got this cymatics build-up. Typically just has like a background element. And then we got the main sort of drum pattern. Pretty much just the kick pattern growing stronger and stronger, like. It's like a thin drum, but it kind of adds to the power, like. So it's like. So like, you heard them on their own, and they kind of sounded thin on their own, so. Yeah. Next up, we got some chords here playing. This is like a softer chord preset I made here in Serum. And then we got a nice little respace. And then we typically got a whole lot of risers here. And then we got a Dylan Matthew vocal here.
Blinded by your light.
So I don't really care if it's in key. Normally a lot of these tutorials turn into like original songs, so I'll tune it when I'm ready. But this is being altered by Little Altar Boy.
Blinded by.
So like without all the processing, it basically sounds like this.
Blinded by your light.
And then with the Little Altar Boy,
Blinded by your light.
with this vocal chain,
Blinded by your light.
and then a utility to kind of make it sound a little more louder.
Blinded by your light.
Yeah, that's pretty much it with the vocal. Alright, so now we're getting into the main meat, the main drop. Typically the drum line, I got this little top loop here. And then we got a kick snare. And we got the subline. Nice. So I didn't write this chord progression. This came from a Ray Volpe MIDI pack I have. So I just want to clear the air there. But So here's what the first chord progression sounds like. I have 3 chord layers here, which I've never done in a track before. But so here's the first one. So typically this one is pretty much just the same 2 saws, detuned 16, 16. This one's slightly more detuned than this one is. And then the next one here we have a hyper saw, I think it's called, technique by AU5. That's always my go-to second chord layer. And next we got the third layer here. You can actually, no, that's not it. You can actually hear it actually sounds different. They're detuned at 8. Same thing, except I'm using an acid wavetable and a basic shapes wavetable. It's pretty much nothing's in the effects. It's all based on the post-processing, which is my melodic fat rack, which I use a lot of my melodic bass songs. Next we have probably one of my favorite basses to put in melodic songs, and I think it's essential for this, for melodic songs sometimes, is this melodic back bass. Now, I learned this from Ray Volpe's Patreon. I highly recommend that Patreon because you guys can learn a lot from it. So typically we got something like this. So like if you listen to like the drop with and without, so here's without. And here's with. It might not be as audible, but trust me, it adds a little bit of low end and it makes the track sound a lot more full than what it originally does without it. Next up, we got probably one of my personal favorite leads to use in melodic dubstep songs, or melodic bass in general, probably except for color bass. But Yell Into the Mountains. This is one of my favorite leads I've ever made. It's typically a peak filter all the way up with some really high distortion, and it kind of sounds like somebody yelling into the mountains. So like, kind of sound like somebody going like ha ha, but typically it's really distorted and has a high peak filter. Yell Into the Mountains. That's exactly what it's called, and because it has reverb, Yell Into the Mountains. I made this on accident, which is pretty fun. I always love making stuff like this on accident, and I've used this in pretty much every single melodic song I have. Next up, we have the ARP here, which is actually made in Massive, which is kind of a big point bonus for me because I never usually make stuff in Massive, but this is a little ARP here. Typically, I made this on accident too. I was just kind of messing around. And then for the second variant here, we have a high... Now we're getting into like other third-party preset territory here with this Ghost preset from Melodic Dubstep's preset pack. I love this preset pack. You guys can obviously tell I love every sound from this preset pack. You know, it's really, really cool. I bet you there's a lead in here I haven't used yet. And then we got, of course, another ARP variant. Kind of sounds like the Zelda synth a little bit. And then when you put it all together... So yeah, that's pretty much it. Very much inspired by Ray Volpe with how he does his melodic dubstep stuff. But typically, when I go into melodic stuff, I usually always like study other melodic songs, like from Blank, Trivecta, you name it. Wooly, even when he does melodic stuff, Wooly does it amazing as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, there you guys go. I hope you guys learned a thing or two from this tutorial, and thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for part 2 when we cover Future Bass, which is kind of the same as melodic dubstep, but kind of has different elements with it here and there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!